Hello everyone, Speedrunner 0 to 18 here, and welcome back to episode 18 of the Pokemon Speedrun Analysis series, where we see how fast a Pokemon can beat a certain game. In the previous episode, we did Lileep in Pokemon Emerald. Lileep definitely had one of the worst movesets I've used to date. Not getting a move higher than 40 base power until Ancient Power at level 43 was quite terrible. But today, we might even have a worse moveset. We'll be seeing how fast Moltres can beat Pokemon Yellow after intense routing and grinding. I already did Moltres in Leaf Green in the Kanto Birds Versus video. It started with Wing Attack and Ember, which are okay moves to start with in that game. However, in Yellow, we only get Fire Spin and Peck until level 51 where we learn Leer. That is just an awful moveset. The other Kanto Birds start with Ice Beam and Drill Peck. This is why the Kanto Bird race will not happen in Yellow, since it will not be fair to Moltres at all. Anyway, via TM, we don't get too much to work with. We do get Swift, Fire Blast, and Mimic, but I'm just glad we get Swift. This should make Sabrina very easy since Swift never misses. Let's just see how this goes. Before we get started, if you happen to like this series and would like to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me on our journey to 1,000 subs. Also, if you want, join the Discord server or support me on Patreon, as well as check out my other socials. Links are in the description. Also, stay tuned to near the end of the video for an announcement with this series. Now, let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, go. On the first rival battle, I just spam Peck. Peck is a 35 base power move, but with Stab is 52 base power. Just get used to me saying spam Peck or spam Fire Spin, since we'll be seeing these two moves quite a lot. As we go through Viridian Forest, I spam Peck and Fire Spin on all the trainers. After defeating all the trainers, I heal at the center and I go straight to Brock. On Brock, I spam Fire Spin. Fire Spin is a very inaccurate move of 75%. But with Moltres' high speed and special, and Brock's low special and low speed, I was able to win first try for a time of 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Not a bad split, but not a good one either. After defeating Brock, I don't heal at the center and I go straight to Route 3. We're just going to be spamming Peck on the Bug Catcher, Youngster, and the two final Bug Catchers. Moltres is just going to be a powerhouse through the normal trainers, but the special trainers, like the gym leaders and rival battles, are going to be a whole other story. I'll be sure to talk about it when we get there. After Route 3 is done, I heal at the Mount Moon Center to restore power points, and then enter Mount Moon. I battle all the bug catchers in here for quick and easy experience, as well as get the rare candy. The Super Nerd and Jesse and James were also quite easy with Peck and Fire Spin. Now for Cerulean City. After I heal at the center, we can either fight Misty or Rival 2, and I choose Rival 2 for pretty obvious reasons. So after getting the rare candy, I then face him. On Rival 2, I defeat Spearow with Peck, and then on Sandshrew, due to its high defense stat, I use Fire Spin. Plus, this does help avoid Sand Attack, which is a normal move in Gen 1 so it can hit flying types. This is a bit off script, but Sand Attack can hit flying types in other games, but whatever. Then on the rest of his team, I spam Peck on Rattata and Fire Spin on Eevee, mostly to avoid Sand Attack. Now, it is time for the Route 24-25 Gauntlet. With most of the trainers having bug, fighting types, or just weak Pokemon in general, Moltres did not struggle here at all. Moltres did not struggle here at all, even against the Elixir Hiker. It's a good thing his Geodude does not know any rock moves. With the Gauntlet out of the way, I get the Ether, SS ticket, quickly defeat the Innocent Bystander, and heal at the Cerulean Center. Usually now for most Pokemon who delay Misty, I would fight her now, but with Starmie's high special and Stab Bubble Beam, Moltres still is not ready for her. So I go down to Route 6, defeat the two junior trainers with ease, and arrive at Vermilion City to board the SS Anne. The first thing I do here is get the TM for Rest. This move will be needed for the much later fights. I also get the Gentleman Candy too, heal up with some potions, and battle Rival 3. This fight goes mostly the same as Rival 2, including using Fire Spin on Sandshrew and Eevee to avoid Sand Attack. After that easy fight, I get Cut, leave the ship, buy some super potions and repels, teach Cut and Dig to Charmander, and battle Surge. Is what I would have done if I had Misty's badge to use Cut, but since I can't delay her any further, I get the bike voucher, dig back to Cerulean from the Diglett's cave, heal the Cerulean Center, and battle both trainers in Misty's gym. The reason I do this is to get to level 23, so then I can use my one candy to 24. I have to be level 24 to outspeed Starmie, which has a speed of 56, and I have a speed of 59. If I went in at 23, I'd be a speed tie. Anyway, on Misty, I spam Peck. Peck is able to 3-hit this Starmie, so not too much to get defeated by her. Since we'll be delaying Surge until later, since it wastes time to backtrack from Cerulean, I get the bike and do the Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet. The wrapping last was not an issue this time, unlike with Jinx in the last episode. The hardest trainer in here is the self-destructing hiker. I actually forgot to save before this fight and was quite terrified since if I had lost, I'd have to fight Misty again and possibly reset the entire run. However, somehow, I win the fight first try despite getting hit with a rock throw, but then I get really lucky with almost no fire spin misses. Phew, that was close. With that out of the way, let's just get to Celadon. Not again! At Celadon, after healing at the center, I go shopping. I buy some super repels and 2 Pokedolls, and today's vitamin of the day is a calcium. Calciums are the most useful vitamin in Gen 1 in my opinion, since they raise both special attack and special defense in one vitamin. Second place to Carbos. Moltres' speed is high enough, so that's why I chose the calcium. After the shopping is finished, I get the HM for Fly, teach it to Pidgey, and I decide now to fight Surge. We're going to need Fly to go from city to city, so I walk through Saffron and down to Vermilion City and battle Surge. With Moltres' slow level up group, I'm only 1 level lower than Raichu. With Surge having random AI though, this fight is either very hard or very easy. On the first attempt, Raichu gets an X speed to allow Raichu to outspeed Moltres, and use Thunderbolt to defeat Moltres for a reset. I was able to win on the next attempt thanks to Fire Spin being broken AF. With Surge out of the way, now Rival 4. This fight was just very easy as well. I used Fire Spin on Sandshrew and Eevee to avoid Sand Attack and Peck on everything else. In Pokemon Tower, I get both Elixirs, spam Peck on all the Channelers, Pokédoll the Marowak, and spam Peck on Jesse and James. I get 1 reset on Weezing due to getting poisoned and missing Fire Spin twice in a row. I also reset on Weezing again due to Arbok paralyzing me, and then on the third attempt, even though I got paralyzed, I was able to land Fire Spin enough times to win, and rescue Mr. Fuji to obtain the Poke Flute. Dang, I did not think that fight was going to get that many resets, jeez. Now we can get Moltres' first new move, Swift. Even without Stab, this will be more powerful than Peck. Unless it's super effective, of course. I then fly to Celadon City and enter Cycling Road, get the rare candy, and then enter the Safari Zone, where I get the usual Full Restore, Protein, Gold Teeth, and Surf. With this stuff done, I can either fight Erika, Koga, or Rival 5. I choose to do Erika first. With Peck's high PP and super effectiveness against grass types, I defeat every trainer in Erika's gym to get the experience. Then I defeat Erika with the same thing. However, since Peck is very weak, none of her Pokemon will go down in one hit. But since her good AI will not make her use Sleep Powder, this fight is basically free. The next stop on the itinerary is Koga's gym. The first juggler has to be defeated with 2 Swifts per Pokemon, which opens up the possibility to Poison Gas. But I win on the first try luckily, but on the second juggler, I get defeated for a reset, so I have to fight both jugglers again. But once I get to Koga, I heal to full and battle him. The plan here is to use 1 Fire Spin to start with, and when it runs out, I defeat the Venonat with Peck. Venomoth though is quite tough. I really worry about Psychic lowering my special, but that doesn't happen, and along with Koga fighting like an idiot, I win the fight first try and obtain the Soul Badge. After defeating Koga, I get the HM for Strength, fly back to Vermilion since I forgot to get Squirtle like a Koga, get the Boulder Candy, and surf down to Cinnabar Mansion. And while getting encounters every step due to Moltres' low level, I get the Carbos, both rare candies, and the secret key. I can now either take on Blaine or Rival 5. I choose to do Rival 5 since he is weaker than Blaine. In Silphco, I get the card key, the 10th floor Carbos and rare candy, as well as the protein on the 5th floor behind the locked gate. I then use 5 rare candies to get to level 40, which is the minimum level I fight Rival 5 at, and then I battle him. I reset immediately though since I forgot to teach Rest and Toxic to Moltres. If you watch RBY Pokemon challenges in his minimum battles runs, you may know where this is going. Some of Rival 5's Pokemon have to be taken down with Toxic and spam Rest when needed. This is a slow but consistent strategy. I am only doing this strategy since Moltres' moveset is so limited. If Moltres had Flamethrower, I think this thing would be good enough in a versus race against the other two. Or at least if it was a TM at the game corner or something. After wiping the floor with Jesse and James as well as Giovanni despite being paralyzed, I dig out causing huge damages to Silphco, fly to Saffron City, get the TM for Mimic, and enter the fighting dojo. With the help of Swift, I am able to defeat the black belts easily. All the grinding is for the later Elite Four battles, which will not be easy. After defeating the black belts, I enter Saffron City Gym and defeat Sabrina with Swift. With Swift, a move that never misses, all Flash and Kinesis will do is badge boost my attack stat. Now for Blaine. On Blaine, on all 3 of his Pokemon, I take him down with Toxic since Swift will not be enough to defeat his 3 Pokemon, and Fire Spin is resisted by them. On all 3 of his Pokemon, I use Toxic, spam Fire Spin, and then rest when needed. With 7 gyms out of the way, it is now time for Giovanni. On Giovanni, I use 2 Swifts on Dugtrio, Mimic Double Team, use 6 of them to raise my evasion and badge boost everything else, and spam Swift on Persian, Nidoqueen, and Nidoking. On Rhydon, I have to use Swift. I have to be careful here since Rock Slide will kill me in one hit, and due to good AI, he will continually spam it. Or a guard spec, which will be helpful to see. Luckily, I win the fight quite easily. Now for Rival 6. I had Fire Blast taught over Swift. I take down his first 2 Pokemon with Fire Blast, Mimic Clamp off Cloyster, and take it out with Fire Blast. On Magneton, I use Clamp to avoid Thunder Wave, and then on Kadabra, I use Toxic and then use Rest to heal up my power points. And then on Flareon, I use Clamp to take it down quickly. Now for some pre-league talks. Moltres had to rely on a ton of luck-dependent strategies, such as Toxic Fire Spin strats. When I routed this out, I was really worried about Lorelei and Lance, since Lorelei is very bulky and has tons of water types, and Lance's Gyarados is just downright terrifying. When I arrive at the league, I heal at the center, buy some full restores, fly to the Rocket Hideout to get the PP up and rare candy, as well as the PP up in Celadon City. I then use the 2 PP ups on Fire Blast to get 7 power points and go take on the final 5 trainers. Let's do this shit. On Lorelei, I take down Dewgong with 2 Fire Blasts, and then Cloyster is arranged to die to Fire Blast, which it does luckily. And then on Slowbro, I mimic Amnesia, use 3 of them, and then take it out with Fire Blast, along with Jinx and Lapras for the knockout. On Bruno, I take out Onix with Fire Blast, and then on Hitmonchan, I mimic Ice Punch for the second Onix to preserve some Fire Blast power points, and then I win the fight easily from there. On Agatha, I spam Fire Blast on every one of her Pokemon, but on her final Gengar, I mimic Psychic since 7 Fire Blasts will not be enough to take her out. Before Lance, I use my 2 rare candies from Victory Road and the Rocket Hideout to get to level 55 and teach Agility over Fire Blast. This is our only badge boosting move and we get it so late into the game. On Lance, I reset immediately if Hydro Pump doesn't miss, but on the winning attempt, I use 1 Agility to badge boost my special, get off a Toxic, and set up the rest of my Agilities and use Rest when needed. and once Gyarados is defeated, I take down his first Dragonair with Toxic and Rest spamming. However, on his second Dragonair, I mimic Ice Beam and then defeat the rest of his team with Ice Beam. Also a good thing, since Agility is my badge boosting move, even if the first Dragonair paralyzes me, the speed drop is not enough to get outspeed by anything, except probably the Aerodactyl. Now, for the champion. On the champion, I mimic Earthquake, use 1 Agility, Toxic, and then set up the rest of my remaining Agilities to get completely badge boosted, and Sandslash dies to Poison. I take out Alakazam with 1 Earthquake, and then on Exeggutor, I use Toxic and Rest spamming. Once he's down, Magneton goes down in 1 Earthquake. On Cloyster, I use Toxic and spam Rest. I do have to be careful here since Clamp is very deadly to Moltres, especially if it gets a crit. However, I'm able to take down Cloyster and then the following Flareon for a final time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 35 seconds, and a game time at the Hall of Fame of 3 hours and 37 minutes. This is quite a nice final time and game time as well, but not for a legendary, not so much. I'm 100% sure all the other legendary Pokemon in the game will get a way faster time than Moltres. I think if Moltres had better luck, or even access to Ember or Flamethrower, it would be a lot better. For now though, Moltres gets 5th place on the Pokemon Yellow leaderboard. It has the fastest real time that isn't sub-hour, so it does beat Jynx and the Kanto starters, but falls behind Porygon and Alakazam. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Pokemon Speedrun Analysis series. However, we are not done yet. Let us fight the most powerful Gen 1 Pokemon, Mewtwo, as a little bonus test for Moltres. This isn't going to be part of the leaderboard though, this is just for fun. My plan for this fight is to set up a Toxic and then try and survive long enough. However, the first couple of attempts I wasn't able to survive enough. On the winning attempt, Mewtwo uses an ungodly amount of recovers, so I was able to survive long enough to get the win. This wasn't the kind of hard fight I'm sure some of you were expecting, but with Moltres' limited move pool, there's only so much I can do. I'm also going to do the Professor Oak battle in Yellow from now on as another bonus, but I didn't have enough time in this one, plus I didn't know at the time how to do it. I do know now how to do it, so it will be in the next Yellow video. But right now, the next episode will be Pokemon Leaf Green with Swinub, an Ice Ground type in Kanto. I think Brock and Surge should be easy, but then again, we'll have to see. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next speedrun.